everyone, this is Julian Kan, your multilingual realtor with eXp Realty. Today, I'd like to discuss how you can win your bidding war on a property. I brought two very special guests to give out great tips on how to win it. First, we have Joe Correia, who is the loan officer from Fairway Independent Mortgage. Joe, do you mind if you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Joe Correia with Fairway Independent Mortgage. I've been a loan officer for 24 years, seen all kinds of markets. And right now, this market is really a unique market.
Definitely. Thank you. And we have Sammi Ng from eXp Realty. She's the icon agent.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sammi Ng. I have been in real estate for about 18 years. And with eXp for about 4 years. And like Jillian said, I'm an icon agent 3 years in a row, and I'm also a syndicator. And the market is very interesting, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And I can't wait.
Yes, so we're going to talk about something I think everybody wants to know, how to win a bidding war on a house or property. Nowadays, with such low inventory, the chances are you get into competing offers on your dream home. So first question I want to ask you both is, how can you win over cash buyers? So Sammi, do you want to go first?
Absolutely. So first, I want people to understand, what is the difference between cash buyer and a buyer who's going to be financing a property. At the end of the day, a seller is going to walk away with cash. But the process is a little bit different. If you are financing, you're going to go through something called mortgage contingency. And if you can't get through your mortgage contingency for whatever reason, it could be, your job change or income change, you can't get your financing, and you're going to get all of your deposits back if you can't meet your financing on the commitment dates. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing cash offer, if you cannot, you don't have to go through the mortgage contingency, and you're going to go straight to PNS and closing. The only way that it can back out is if there's a title issue that the seller couldn't fix. Other than that, you're pretty much guaranteed to close. The way you can win over a cash buyer is obviously the price. If you can come higher on your price, then that's usually the easiest way to win. There are some sellers who would take a lower offer from a cash buyer because they don't want to go through the headache, but it depends on how much higher you can go, from a cash offer to a financing offer. Obviously, come in as a best offer. A lot of times sellers will not come back and renegotiate with you, especially if they have a cash offer on hand. Just put in your best foot forward when you're submitting an offer in a very competitive market. And in other ways, like, waiving your mortgage inspections, that's other ways that you can come in with a stronger offer.
Great tip. Joe, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there are some things that, now on the mortgage side of things, and you have a mortgage contingency, how can we increase the likelihood that your offer is going to get accepted? Now that we're in a different market, usually before we had this kind of market, your buyer's agent, your agent that represented you, would actually make an offer in your behalf. They would email the seller's agent the offer with the pre-approval, and the loan officer really didn't know that an offer was accepted until either the buyer or the agent contacted you to let you know, hey, this person's approved. I mean, this offer was accepted, it was approved. And as a loan officer, now it's a little different. I feel now it's up to your loan officer, but I think it's something that's very important and it helps out a lot, is that the loan officer also get involved in the offer process. So what I let all the buyer's agents know is, if you have a buyer making an offer, please keep me involved. And that email goes out to the seller's agent. I want to respond. I want to put a good word in. I want to endorse your buyer. So I do that, and it helps. And then I'll follow up with a phone call to the seller's agent to let them know, hey, listen, I reviewed everything. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't give pre-approvals away unless I know they're going to close. Okay. And there's something that we also do to be more competitive, to eliminate the need for a mortgage contingency. And lenders are doing this now. They call it a to be determined commitment, TBD commitment, where we will actually fully underwrite the loan, get an approval, and not a pre-approval, but an actual underwriting approval, a commitment, which is that's part of the mortgage contingency. When there's a mortgage contingency in the sales contract, they're looking for a commitment letter. Well, we do the commitment letter up front. Other lenders also do it as well. So ask your lender if they are doing this. If they are, you're basically you're as close to a cash buyer as possible. Okay, you can waive the commitment. It is obviously going to be subject to appraisal and title, but again, if agents have done, usually most appraisals in this market, I haven't seen many problems with them.
Is that something it's offered by every bank or just Fairway?
I know some other banks do it. They may charge a fee for it, however, a processing or underwriting fee. We don't charge a fee, but again, it's if you have a bank you feel comfortable with them, even if you're paying the fee, well, it's part of the process. But if it increases the likelihood of you getting the offer accepted, it's well worth it, even if it's So the other thing too, and one thing as well, if someone's putting down more than 20%, let's say they're paying 30 or 40%, there are times that we'll submit it through the underwriting system to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac's underwriting system, and sometimes they'll completely waive the need for an appraisal, called an appraisal waiver. It's not guaranteed, but it increases the likelihood if you have someone that's putting down preferably over more than 20% down.
Awesome. So yeah, going back to the question as to, how to win over a cash buyer. The number one thing is really the price, right? If you can go, sometimes a buyer will accept a cash offer, even though the price is lower than what a financing offer is, but it depends on how much higher you can go from between a cash offer and a financing offer. So a price, usually just come in with your best offer. And that's one way. And other way is maybe waiving your home inspection contingencies. Usually sellers don't want to see too many contingencies. And if you can waive it, if you're comfortable enough to waive it, that is another option. And the third thing that I'm seeing a lot right now is that a lot of people are waiving the mortgage contingency. It may be a program that Joe is doing. That's why they're comfortable in waiving the mortgage contingencies. If you're not going through a program that Joe has, maybe you can have a backup plan. If the financing doesn't happen, and I do have backup plans to pay for this property, then waiving the mortgage contingency might be a good option. So you can go as close as you can with a cash buyer.
That's right. That's great. But about the inspection contingency, though, maybe most people don't feel comfortable waiving that, especially if it's like an old home. What can you say about that?
That's a very good question. I do have a lot of clients who are uncomfortable doing that. So the closest thing you can do is something called, informational only. So you can still do your home inspection, but it's for informational only. But at the end of the day, you can still back out of the deal and get all your deposits back if you don't like what you hear. But the idea is you do not go back to the seller and renegotiate the price. So you can do that. You're kind of like meeting halfway with the seller. That is an option. But at the end of the day, every buyer's is different and every seller's is different. You really need to know what the buyer's looking for and what the seller's looking for and what the buyer can do to meet the mind so that you can get the property.
Next question I want to ask is, what if my offer was turned down and now what can they do about it?
You can always let the listing agent know that my client can come in as a backup offer. In the event if anything changes, please reach out to us. We might still be interested in the property. That's one option. Or keep looking. look for a better property. There's always stuff that's going to come on the market. Yes, we do have a very low inventory as of right now, but that can change. and some days you'll see more listings, some days you see less. Just keep looking and just keep trying. And but when you submit an offer, you also want to be very reasonable. If this seller has 10 offers on the table, you probably don't want to come in under the asking price. You probably have to go over the asking price. So there's another way that we submit offer in a competitive property. It's something called escalated clause. So you can actually add an escalated clause to the offer, but that only works if the seller is willing to entertain it and that they have multiple offers. If they only have just your offer, then you don't need to do an escalated clause. And basically, you're just telling the seller, we're willing to pay. I'm just going to say, example, this property, it's $500,000. I'm willing to pay $500,000 for this property. And my max, you can put a max, or you don't have to put a max. But say if you put a max of 600,000, I'm willing to pay up to 600,000, and I will go over the highest offer you have if it exceeds 600,000. So you can add an escalated clause to show the seller that I'm very motivated in buying your property, and I'm willing to go up on my offer.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty much Sammy's the escalation clause. I think that's very important because it still keeps the buyer in the game, involved in the possible acceptance of an offer. I think that's the escalation clause is pretty much their best shot if they still want to stay in the game.
Yes, we have actually won a couple of deals with the escalated clause recently. And not every seller is open to it, you just keep in mind. And that's the reason why you always want to call the listing agent, confirm that, do you think the seller is going to entertain an escalated clause? Because the seller have to give you a copy of the highest offer that they received to prove that they have an offer. So not every seller is open to that. And like I said, it only works if you have multiple offer situation, like a bidding war. So, it's just more ways to get yourself into the game.
So many great tips from Sammi and Joe on how to win your bidding war on a property. Hope you got some value out of this. If you like the video and hit that like button or subscribe to the channel, I'll be very excited. If there's any other topic you'd like us to discuss in the next video, you can always comment below. Thanks for watching and go win some houses, guys. Until then, see you next time. Bye-bye.